Um, Hudson hit on a lot of great things that can happen within the context of a team. But as Josh was also pointing out, is that people bring their whole selves to the team space. And that entails what happens to them in society, especially when that society may not protect them with non-discrimination laws. And so from an advocacy perspective, if you want to make sure your athlete is able to bring their fullest, most authentic self to the sport, you always have to be mindful of what type of policies are happening around you in either locally, citywide, or statewide. So you have to kind of look at legislation. We like to talk about sports as though they're not a political space, but athletes are political beings, just like other human beings. And so they are very much interested in what's going on when it comes to legislation. So what coaches have to do is promote positive legislation that protects LGBTQ athletes both on and off the field of play, and speak out against negative legislation that's going to hurt those athletes on and off the field of play. Some examples of positive legislation that we've seen at the federal level would be something like the Equality Act. That the Equality Act would protect LGBTQ people in key spaces in sports, such as employment. Like if coaches wanted to come out or players wanted to come out, the Equality Act would protect them. And also would protect athletes in public accommodations and fans in public accommodations. What this means is that we would have a federal law that would prevent discrimination against fans in arenas, that would prevent discrimination against players too in public spaces such as gyms or playing fields. So just promoting something as simple and easy as has such widespread acceptance as the Equality Act is something that coaches should be doing. On state and local levels, they should push for LGBT non-discrimination laws generally as well. And when it comes to combating negative legislation, they really need to be focused on some of these anti-trans bills. What we've seen is there's been an influx of a lot of anti-trans sports bills that would essentially prevent trans athletes from participating in sports. To put this in perspective, last year we only saw 18 states try to pass these bills and only one pass. This year we've already seen more than 33 states try to pass these bills, with 8 coming into law. And what these bills do is they just decrease the amount of participation among LGBTQ athletes, especially trans athletes. And then what research has also shown is that when states have these negative trans laws, participation among all women and girls, cis and trans, goes down significantly. So if you want to do more to protect your athletes, it has to be not just on the field of play, but off the field of play, and has to do a lot with some of the legislative efforts that we've seen to either protect LGBTQ people or some of the negative efforts and speaking out against those negative efforts, especially that hurt trans athletes.